There is a specific type of frustration that people rarely talk about. It happens when someone makes a genuine decision to follow God, and instead of things getting easier, their daily life suddenly becomes much harder. Modern religious circles often teach that obedience is a shortcut to comfort. The expectation is that if you align with God's will, the friction in your life should naturally decrease. In practice, the opposite occurs. A heavy calling acts as a magnet for conflict. This spike in resistance isn't a sign that you've lost your way, but a reaction to the weight you're now carrying. The unseen realm conducts a threat assessment. It ignores the ordinary, but rapidly surrounds and targets anyone displaying high spiritual potential. The danger here is in the interpretation. Without understanding this spiritual mechanic, it's easy to assume God has abandoned you or that you're doing something wrong. These unexplainable hardships stack up as a direct result of your obedience. This pushback serves as the first objective evidence that the calling you've accepted is real. The first sign of this process is unexplainable spiritual warfare. This isn't triggered by a specific mistake or a moral failure. In reality, the anointing itself is the target. You might experience sudden emotional heaviness or wake up feeling completely drained, even when your external life is stable and safe. The second sign is the wilderness of isolation. Long-standing friendships begin to fade, and a sense of being misunderstood by your peers becomes a constant presence. God separates individuals from their existing support networks to ensure their development isn't influenced by the crowd. By removing these horizontal connections, the individual is forced to rely entirely on a vertical connection with God. This buffer zone ensures that the individual is developed and prepared away from the perspectives of those who cannot understand their new trajectory. The third sign involves a shift toward internal pressure, specifically through attacks on the mind and emotions. If your calling cannot be taken away, the strategy shifts to eroding your peace. The aim is to use anxiety and overthinking to make you doubt what has already been confirmed. The fourth sign is the experience of extreme delays. You find yourself praying for opportunities that seem perfect, yet every door remains firmly shut. These closed doors function as a safeguard. God prevents entry into spaces where your character hasn't yet been built to withstand the pressures. The holding pattern strengthens you, ensuring you have the capacity to sustain the position. The fifth sign is an unbreakable internal purpose. Even in the middle of exhaustion and feelings of unworthiness, there is a core part of you that refuses to back down. This creates a paradox where you may feel hard-pressed on the outside, yet possess a resilience that doesn't seem to come from your own strength. The anointing redirects the pain of the process, turning it into a source of persistence that survives long after external comfort has disappeared. It is vital to maintain a clear perspective on these challenges. There is a thin line between spiritual warfare and the natural consequences of our own choices. Not every setback is a demonic attack. Many times, a closed door is the result of poor decision-making, a lack of preparation, or a character flaw that needs to be addressed. It is also important to distinguish between spiritual heaviness and physical or mental burnout. Ignoring high levels of stress or health issues by calling them warfare can lead to unnecessary damage. The objective of a calling is to build a foundation where peace remains accessible during the storm. The weight of the process is a tool for development, not a means for destruction. Maturity is found in this balance, enduring the difficulties of the calling with grace, while taking full, practical responsibility for your own actions and your own health.